The Cricut loom comes with 2 wood shuttles. I'm going to go ahead and get one of them wound. I'm using Universal Deluxe Worsted 100% wool. This is a variegated wool, which is fun to weave with because it creates its own patterns, even though the warp threads are the same color. The fact that this is variegated will give the scarf a nice texture. You can drop this down, or if you're like me and you have cats, you probably want to set it somewhere it can roll and you don't have to worry about someone grabbing it while you're doing this. Okay, what I do is make a slip knot to start with. I wrap it around the end and I start winding through. I come around on the outside and up through the slots on either end. And I do this until I feel like I have enough yarn so that it will go through easily. I would rather have less yarn and more stops and starts than to make the shuttle too fat and make it too hard to weave with. So you can alternate turning it around. I have found this method of winding it up is nice because it gives you a little more bulk to the outside and you can actually get a little more yarn on here than just simply wrapping it through the middle. It's nice to have it as flat as you can. Well, there it goes. While still trying to get as much yarn on there as you can to eliminate too many stops and starts. Alright, let me get this wound up. I can see I have a knot, and I'm going to end with a different kind of yarn. You need a lead yarn, and I will explain that to you in just a minute. Alright, I have the shuttle ready. I have the wool that I'm going to be doing the scarf with, and I also have some lead yarn wrapped on top of that because I want to be able to get the threads going evenly before I start with the actual yarn. I've moved my heddle into the upright position here. I don't think it really matters which you start with, but this one just seems more natural for me. So I'm going to come across one time. I move my heddle down to the down position. I come back through. And you notice I'm not beating this together yet. I want one more pass, so I'm going to move it back to the up position. And you want to loosen your shuttle each time you go through if you need to, because you don't want to be pulling and creating tension because your threads that are coming off are too short. Alright, this time I'm going to pull it a little bit tight, and I leave the top at an angle. This helps with the tension when you are pulling your heddle. I will pull it through, not too tightly, bring it down, and then I'm going to continue with my lead yarn just so that I can kind of get an evenness to start with, and then we'll be going along with our main threads. Pull it gently. Don't pack it too tightly unless you really want a heavy weave. You'll get a much better drape with your yarn with a scarf or something to wear if it is not packed tight like a placemat or something. Okay, I don't have that much thread here, but I do want to start paying attention to the sides, take the head off, pull it forward, slide it down. It's just a back and forth motion. If you're a little bit too tight with the lead yarn here, you can pull the heddle back a little bit to open up the warp threads. Pull it a little tight, not too tight. You have to watch your tension and just work with it and see what's best for you. Forward, up. And I'm starting to get a nice pattern here. It's not too tight. And I'm starting to get an even spacing of the threads here. If you notice, maybe I can bring it in a little bit tighter here. When you first start out with the lead yarn here, you're getting a little bit longer spaces in between the different sections that you tie. It's important to go up a few spaces so that these start coming back together. The more yarn you put on here and the further away it gets from the apron rod, the better this is going to be, and the more evenly spaced it's going to be. Alright, this is trying to come off the shuttle here. I'm going to try to put the loop a little bit closer to the end of it so I can use the shuttle to throw it back through one more time. Okay, that happens when you forget to take the heddle to the bottom. Alright, let's put it back through. Go ahead and put it back through. This time I'll remember. Put it to down position. And when you come to the end of your thread, if you will lead with the end that is looped around the top of the shuttle, then it won't come off as easily. And I know I need to wind this yarn a little bit this time. Okay, this is starting to come together and it's looking pretty good. I'm going to advance the warp threads a little bit so that I can bring this down closer.